Steven. And Steven, they have a right to call Timcast Transcast.
We sure do.
Steven, I have a gift to you.
Wait a minute. Stop everything. Let's watch some Stevie.
Thanks, Mike.
Steven, they're fans of mine, but I'm even bigger fans of theirs.
Boopy, boopy, boom, bum. Hey. Groovy bass from Wyatt Shears. Thank you, Wyatt, for giving us the rights to that song.
You think they've ever said Steven in a song? We could steal that for
I don't know. That's a
for
good
the
question.
intro. Okay. Well, guys, I'm Steven.
And I'm Steve.
We got a great show today. We got a lot of things to cover.
We do.
Are we going to jump right in with the biggest story of the week? The
I
biggest
think we should.
meme? The biggest viral thing going around?
Yes, I am a podcaster. I am a good doctor.
You can't see it, but I'm Dr. Han staring at you right now in disbelief. The Asian doctor from Good Doctor.
The Chinaman.
Well, like the fifth Asian doctor they cast.
Yes, I haven't watched The Good Doctor. You have watched the first 3 seasons with our friend Nelson.
Yes.
So can you give us like a rundown of the day-to-day on what it's like being Dr. Sean Murphy?
Yeah. Well, I'll give you an episode by episode. I'll give you an all 30 episode recap of The Good Doctor. No, so he shows up. He's the new doctor. Very quickly, everyone realizes he has autism.
Yeah. As Ryan Trout says, the tism.
Yeah, the tism. Me when I've got the tism.
He's just making TikToks all day at work, and they're like, we can't hire him.
And I mean, this man just wants to work. He is a surgeon, right? He's become a surgeon, and he's had an old Jewish doctor, raise him, the guy from the West Wing. And, he's always he can't handle anything socially. And it's just like, okay, he probably just shouldn't be a doctor. That's usually my takeaway from an episode. It's like, if he's going to break down every single episode, he can't be a doctor. But he prevails. He is a surgeon. He does fuck up a few times.
Does he ever kill someone on accident?
He's there, he doesn't perform the surgery right or something, I think, and somebody loses their head. No, one good episode, I think there might be a school shooting episode. A bunch of kids have to come in. No, I'm joking. I don't know if that's...
He should have dodged the bullet.
The most notable plot point is that Chris D'Elia was his roommate in season 1.
Yes.
And then the girl that he eventually bangs and has kids with moves in right after that.
I can't believe he even has sex.
Yeah, there's a nice black lady that works in the prescription department of the hospital. That's what I'm going to call it.
She gets him, yeah. Okay, so I've seen some clips of the show, and I know that he can enter like autistic bullet time. Mm-hmm. So when he has sex, is he just seeing diagrams of how it works?
Well, actually, yeah, he does. He gets the diagram thing going in his head with a beautiful mind kind of thing, but with human body. And
it's just porn.
No, the first 3 or 4 times. This is a whole story arc in the second or third season where he cries in the middle of sex, or he's not able to do it. Mm-hmm. He pussies out. He starts freaking out. And she's literally just laying there please fuck me.
Yeah.
It's a scenario that could never happen.
Right.
It's somebody with no social skills on top of you. But yeah, so.
Was he molested, or he just was nervous?
No, he's autistic. He doesn't know what to do, I guess. He starts freaking out. He just has way too many panic attacks. And then I know you've seen this scene. In the first season, they do a lot of flashbacks to him, and he had a brother that died.
Yeah.
His brother's
name was Steve, by the way.
Steve, R.I.P. Steve.
Yeah.
He fell off a fucking train or something. They were
train spotting?
They were in a warehouse, and he fell off a truck or a train or something. It made no sense. But the scene I know that you've seen is when his dad has he has a pet rabbit when he's a kid, and his dad throws against the wall, and the post-production for it adds the loudest boom ever. So that was awesome.
But he didn't care because he's autistic. He can't, he's not emotionally connected to the rabbit.
No, but it was a comfort thing, I think, for him. You just keep petting it. Because then what he starts doing is his brother used to pat his head to calm him down. Now he just walks in circles and pats his head. So
gets his hair follicles in someone's open heart surgery.
He fucks something up, and they remove his license, which is where that scene is from that's gone viral now, of him screaming, "I am a surgeon."
But he fucked up. He ruined the surgery himself.
He messes something up. Damn, I wish I could remember. But I think that's an old clip. Mm-hmm. They can't keep firing him. That is the worst recurring plot point.
Fired, so many times.
Also, another good plot point is the old Jewish doctor gets cancer. He gets brain cancer in the second season, and that's the whole arc. It's an arc for the whole season, and he basically figures out the cure, and nobody wants to hear from him. It's dude, this is the one guy. He's the only human he's connected with is this guy that took him in when his parents abandoned him.
Yeah,
made sure he got a medical degree, and he's found a cure for cancer, and you're not going to let him try? I don't know.
That's what it seemed like. Because I watched 2 videos. Video 1 recapped episode 1 and 2, then the other one 3 and 4, and it was basically once he was hired on, the other, I guess, surgeons on the executive board they were like, he can't do it. He can't work. But he demonstrates like numerous times that he's more than capable of working.
Yeah.
And it's like, can you imagine how many people like in actual hospitals die because of like retarded, like office tier politics that go on at work, you know? Because it happens everywhere. It has to happen there. Like, oh, well, I don't want this. I don't want the specialist in because they didn't say hi. They didn't respond to my email. Then it's like, well, say bye to grandma.
Let's just say this scenario actually exists, right? This guy exists out there in the world and he's become a doctor. Like, just let the man work. Like, the problem is they always put him in situations where he has to like go talk to patients. You know, it's like, just have him go in there and grind, to do the surgery, get out. Boom.
Right. He'd be a great doctor if he didn't have to do that. Well, there's that one, I saw the clip of the episode where there's like a trans kid and he's like, I see your penis. You are a boy. And it's like, why does he need to be in the room for that? You know, they could just wait until the kid is knocked out to go in and do the surgery. Well, he has testicular cancer. And then another clip where he's like, why do people lie? And the kid is some random kid who unfortunately has to talk to this doctor. And he's like, well, sometimes people lie because if they don't, the truth might hurt. Is it better to lie or tell the truth?
Yeah,
that
clip rules.
Yeah, tell the truth. You have cancer. He tells the kid, like, right? It was like a Curb Your Enthusiasm setup.
That's the kind of honesty I want from ChatGPT.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was going to say the logical conclusion, and the show's gone on for a few more years, so I don't know what's happened.
I think it's
other
like
than,
season 6 now.
I mean, eventually they're just going to have him be the lead surgeon, and it's just not going to be believable because you can't beat these social barriers. Trust me, I've been there.
Well, the first episode too, I think it shows like a guy, a glass roof falls on a kid. And then the doctor's trying to help him out and he's like, that's not how you do it. You're killing him. Like the fact that, and then he steals a pocket knife from a security guard to like, do the surgery. It's so crazy. And I was thinking like only in America can you come up with this, right? But this is a South Korean show. It was originally a show in South Korea, which like aren't all
Kuduru Dokturu.
Aren't they? Yeah, aren't they all like autistic? Aren't all Asians kind of autistic anyway? What is the angle? What is?
Well, they don't have social skills, that's for sure.
So it's like in South Korea, is the autistic person like someone with social skills? You know?
Yeah.
He's just chatting up a storm, and then they have a Japanese version that came after the American version, so it's going worldwide.
Yeah. What other? I mean, like they can't do that in like Mexico or something. Everybody there is just
El
stupid.
bueno doctoro.
That's what I got on Good Doctor. I'm trying to think if there's any other crazy plot points.
I don't have anything for the plot, but I just want to say, like, giving someone, like an actor who doesn't have autism and like having them act with autism, that's like the golden ticket for Charlie Bucket over there. Because you know that time in the 90s where, and I have some clips I'd love to share, Rosie O'Donnell, she tried to act as a retarded person, and the movie was called like Riding the Bus with My Sister, and this performance is like, the fact that she wasn't shot in the head after this movie came out is kind of insane. I'm not condoning that.
Oh, this is awesome. I've just see the thumbnail already.
Also, the YouTube video is called Rosie the Retard.
Rosie the Retarded.
Rosie the Retarded, excuse me. Steve the Retard. My mom loved these movies where like non-retarded people would act as retarded people, so I'd see them all the time. But here we go.
Good morning! Jesse! We have to get a new toilet if I got broke! Excellent! There you are! You have to take me to Super Save tomorrow because they're having a sale! You're the hippopotamus! Jesse's delicious! He's gonna take me today to get a new toilet seat because mine got broken and was sliding! Don't even fall off of it, like, whoa! Can we have assistance, please, and road number 1 for toilet seats?
That's what she does. She just goes around and yells at things.
And then, of course, there's I Am Sam, which I feel like, you know, people have already talked about. Which my question about that movie, which the plot line, I think it's like the retarded man wants custody of his daughter. Like, how did this retard fuck? Is my main question.
No, sometimes they have a good poll.
I guess so, yeah.
But pre-social media, they didn't. Not retards.
He has a TikTok that he's making. But autism, that's the easiest, that's like the best disability to act as because you can't butcher it like Rosie O'Donnell did. And it's the easiest thing in the world. And everyone acts like it's like brave and, you know, like autistic people have like they're super intelligent, but like we could both just boom, be autistic and just welcome to Steve and Steve. You just change the way that you say sentences and you have to just sound way more boring and that's it. So they have finally cracked the code on how do I act like a retard?
I have the monotone down. I have But that's it. I feel like autistic people are too focused.
I get, yeah. Well, it's because, you know why? It's because they're crafting this, all that stuff, all those diagrams that they're crafting in their head and all that stuff. I also love, it was in that show, those whiteboards that are just like windows, but it's only for the camera. But just imagining trying to even write on that, and, you take your notes and you're like, I can't even see what I just wrote.
Yeah.
Any final words on the good doctor before he hops
I
on
wish
the
I could
train?
remember more plot points, but I can't.
Did Chris D'Elia, was he like a comedian in the show?
No, he was like a shitty neighbor that would like come over to his house and like play his PlayStation, or he like, I don't even know why Sean had a PlayStation, but
yeah, what the?
he'd be like, come on, bro. Like, what do we, I mean, he was just Chris D'Elia
Yeah.
in the show. And,
But it was awful for Sean because it's like, that is my environment being tampered with.
yeah.
I see. That's funny. Well, one good doctor.
Teacher calls kid retarded. We didn't watch this yesterday, right?
No, we didn't.
Okay, I watched this already, but it'll be good to hear you and your live reaction. There it is, first one.
All right, here we go. Folks.
This is a kid from Denver that got called retarded like probably 10 years ago. So,
10 years ago?
Yeah.
Here we go.
New at 10, the father of a Denver middle school student outraged tonight at the harmful words he says a math teacher used against his son. 7 News reporter Lance Hernandez talking tonight with the boy and his father.
What did the teacher say to you?
He said I'm effing stupid, effing retarded.
Jake admits he doesn't get
what's
along
the
with his
dad
math
just
teacher
sitting on the-
and that he's been booted out of math class several times.
Recording his dick.
Jake's dad says that's no excuse for the teacher's harmful words.
And I think it's a bullying.
Roberto
He's a
Feuerreisen was so
bully.
incensed by his son's allegations that he went to see the teacher and recorded their conversation on his cell phone.
One time I got mad and I kicked him out and I said this is stupid and retarded.
The teacher admitted using the words stupid and retarded, but not the F word.
Retard.
He later said he used them to describe the situation, not Jake.
Did he use those words to describe you, or did he use those words to describe his frustration with the situation?
I mean, he looks
He
retarded.
used his words to describe me.
Yeah.
The teacher told Roberto his
Okay,
son has
that's
been
good.
Okay.
Yeah, I just thought that video was funny.
That is, I like how the doctor, oh my gosh. I was about to call the dad retarded, but then
Yeah.
my brain, doctor,
He's
hello.
a bullying.
He's a bully, my kid.
Also,
Like,
I thought that kid was like Jewish, and then the dad came out and he's like a Mexican guy or something.
maybe the mom could be Jewish, like an Ariel Pink situation.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Ariel Pink right there.
Yeah.
But he has like those, who's the kid from Stranger Things? The frog kid. He looks like a frog.
I've never watched that.
That's what he
shit.
looks like. He has those froggy lips and his bowl cut too. I mean, he looks so whack. He does
Yeah.
look disabled.
Mm-hmm.
But like teachers cursing, I mean, those were moments that like we looked forward to. You wanted to gaslight the teacher into cursing on accident.
Yeah.
And now it's like it becomes a news story. I mean, come on, don't kill the fun.
I'd feel honored because that would bring the class so much joy if a teacher called me like fucking retarded.
Yeah.
You know? So anyway, that was that.
I remember once in second grade, we had a teacher and good luck finding her. Her name was Mrs. Good, and she lived up to her last name, super polite. And one time she just needed the whole class to be quiet, and she just went, "Shut up." And we all were like, but it gave us a good story.
Yeah.
And, we thanked her for that.
I love it. Shout out Mrs. Good, doctor.
Shout out Mrs. Good Doctor. Do we want to hop into the news?
Let's do the news.
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker.
Now, what is he doing? He has a show on Twitter.
Yeah, he's just going to upload 5-minute videos to Twitter every day.
Okay, cool. They're going to be 5 minutes, not like 20. Because I was thinking, like, anytime I go on Twitter, I am not thinking, let me pull some videos up and sit and
Nobody
watch.
was going to watch Tucker on Twitter.
No,
Who sits on Twitter to watch long videos?
exactly.
Well, and so, yeah, you've made a note there, the Matrix thing. Andrew Tate responded to the video of Tucker, because Tucker in his video was just like, not everything you see on TV is true. He was just doing his shit.
Yeah.
And then Andrew Tate's like, the Matrix is collapsing or something. And he like had a Matrix gif.
Court, like Morpheus doing
Yeah.
a little autism surgery.
Oh, and I saw Brett Favre, who defrauded Mississippi $6 million. What's a weird number, but he was like, we need Tucker back. I'm boycott Fox News. We need Tucker back.
I see. So he's excited about that Twitter. You saw Twitter is changing their CEO. It's going to be a woman.
Did you see her, or is that just a myth?
I think it's the images are a myth.
Who is
Like
that
the
lady?
Asian lady.
Yes,
I
who
think
is
it's
it?
an AI generated lady.
I'm
and
telling you, that's the first thing I saw this morning, and I spent the first 40 minutes trying to figure out who that was.
I think it's AI.
That's such a bummer.
Because I saw the picture of her like with her nipple. You can see her tits hanging out. And I know there's like a poker game. There was some poker game on Halloween, and some guy dressed up just like had like fake tits. And there's like one shot of it where it looks like her tit falls out, but then the camera zooms out and it's just a guy with a beard.
Okay. Well, that's a bummer. I was hoping it'd be a real person, but I couldn't find the name just from a search. So I was like,
Asian woman, boobs.
I mean, I was like on Yandex, reverse image searching, the Russian search browser.
Truth GPT.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for, what's his name? Luke Rudkowski, the Crash Bandicoot lookalike who works on Tim Pool's podcast, to Photoshop a little picture of Tucker Carlson with titties saying, I can't wait for this on film.
I don't have anything else on Tucker. Maybe something new will come. I don't know.
I don't like how when he does these addresses off, it's not on a show. Like the first video addressing when he was fired, he's just doing the monologue. It's like, hey, can we get, I think part of the reason why people like him is because he turns off the TV persona a lot of the times and he acts like a normal person. But in these past few Twitter videos, he's just only in monologue mode. And it's like, why can't you just say, oh yeah, I was fired from Fox News and now I'm doing this? Instead, he has to give this whole thing about freedom of the press and stay tuned.
Maybe he has like a non-compete clause that he can't, like that's still in place or some kind of weird bullshit.
That's true.
I don't know. That's it on Tucker. Let's go to King Charles, the new king of England.
Congratulations.
Okay, did you look up his fucking hands yesterday? He has these little fat toddler hands. It's unbelievable.
They're disgusting. They're literal like sausage link fingies. What is the deal? I thought kings had to like lead their soldiers into war. They have to at least hold the sword. I'm not saying they have to use it, but it's like, what can he pick up with those?
I don't know. It's like somebody should have like a subreddit of him holding things. Like how there's one for like Shaq, when Shaq holds like a basketball, it looks like he's holding a baseball. King Charles would just be, it looked like he's holding the globe.
Yeah. Just, he has to hold them out. He can't even like bend his fingers. You just have to set things on top of his hands like he's a video game character like holding something.
Have you heard the rumor that Harry is not Princess, or sorry, I fucked that up. Harry's not Charles' son or something. It's Princess Diana had an affair. Well, that was confirmed, I guess.
Oh.
This guy, James Hewitt. Look up James Hewitt and tell me that doesn't look like Harry. Oh, man. You're just like the most retarded speller ever sometimes.
So this is Prince Charles. This is the
King Charles to you.
King Charles to me.
And me.
This is who?
That's Harry.
And this is the real son, allegedly?
No, that's the real dad.
Oh, the real dad.
But when he was younger.
Oh.
For comparison.
I see. Okay. I see it. Yeah. So, weird.
I believe it.
Yeah. So he had an affair with Princess Diana. What? Yeah. Okay. I don't know anything about the royal family really at all. So
people love the queen though, but
yeah,
you got to respect the queen. Trump did that interview in Scotland or whatever, and I didn't know he loved the king and queen so much.
I didn't watch much of the CNN town hall with
I didn't either, but it was crazy. It was just like gotcha questions. But I think Trump's new thing is he's really going to start rolling with stuff. Did you see? You didn't see? What did you see from it?
I saw the thing where he said, the lady was like, so you said this about the debt ceiling. And he says, yeah, because I was president. But now you say that about the debt ceiling? And he's like, yeah, because I'm not president.
Yeah, that ruled. Everything he does is hilarious.
He knows exactly.
Did you see, too, the video of when he was doing the deposition for that rape thing?
Mm-mm.
And he told the lawyer, like, I wouldn't, like, you're not my type either.
No.
He's like, I wouldn't say you're my type either.
You and I access. Oh, the pussy tape. Oh, I saw a clip of him saying, just kind of explaining, I love pussy.
You did not testify in person in this trial. There was a tape deposition of you from October in it. You defended the comments that you made on that Access Hollywood tape about
Go back. I think
you did not testify in person in this trial. There was a tape deposition of you from October in it. You defended the comments that you made on that Access Hollywood tape about being able to grab women how you want.
By the pussy.
Do you stand by those comments?
I said if you're famous and rich or whatever I said, but I said if you're a star, you are, and I said, women let you. I didn't say you grab, I said women let. You didn't use that word, but if you look, women let you. Now, they said, will you take that back? I said, look, for 1,000,000 years, this is the way it's been. I want to be honest. This is the way it's been. I can take it back if you'd like to, but if you're a famous person, if you're a star, and I'm not referring to myself, I'm saying people that are famous, people that are stars.
You were asked in the deposition,
people that are rich,
yourself to be a star,
people
and you
that
said
are powerful.
yes.
They
Is
tend
that
to
the
do
Bud
pretty
Light
well in a lot
tranny,
of
by the
different
way?
ways, okay?
Yeah,
And
maybe.
you would like me to take that back? I can't take it back because it happens to be true. I said it's been true for 1 million years, approximately 1 million years, perhaps a little bit longer than that.
So you stand by those comments?
Well, I don't want to lie.
Mr. President, we have a lot of
here's
questions.
what she wants
Mr.
me to say.
President.
Steven, they're fans of mine, but I'm even bigger fans of theirs.
I wish he would talk more like that, like the first go around, though, because I feel like he does dance around that kind of shit where he won't give a straight answer.
Yeah.
And there he's just like point blank, like when you're rich, you can do that.
Yeah. I think it would help him.
CNN is so lame to do this. You know, they're just doing it for clicks, and then they upload, you know, every clip from it. The only other thing, Epstein's Island was purchased. We don't know who it was bought by.
Yeah.
But they're gonna clear. Like nobody is ever gonna get to the bottom of it.
No. I wonder if they'll turn it into like a resort though. So anybody can go and be a famous person, so to speak.
Yeah. All right, we're moving on to what? Beetlejuice 2.
Yes.
You've seen Beetlejuice 1, right?
Yes, I have.
What do you think of it?
You know, that was actually one of my favorite Halloween movies as a kid.
Yeah.
Very funny. I loved the special effects. It's Tim Burton, right?
Mhm.
It has to be. That's like one of the Tim Burton movies where I feel like he doesn't go like full out with this stupid gay art style thing that I can't really stand.
Yeah, he's better off with a lower budget, I think.
Yeah. What's his name? What's the shooter? Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to let him be in it again. Is he cast?
No, I've only seen, Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, and Jenna Ortega is playing Winona Ryder's daughter.
But Michael Keaton, he is back as Mr. Beetlejuice.
Mr. Beetlejuice himself. No, Beetlejuice is one of my favorite. I don't know if you call him an antagonist. To me, he's just like trying to have a good ass time.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. He's making teenagers his bride. There's nothing weird about that.
No. I always liked the scene where they're eating dinner and they sing that song, Coconut.
No, Mr. Tally Me Banana.
Yes. I used to think it was real when I was a kid.
What do you mean?
Like they sounded that way. They made themselves sound that way for the song.
I feel like it's I don't remember any of these people's names, but the guy in it, the redheaded guy, I found out he was like a pedo, and that blew my mind. Jim Jeffries or whatever. Look that name up.
No,
really
Jim
quick.
Jeffries is the comedian.
Okay, who am I thinking of? Who's the principal in Ferris Bueller?
Oh shit! You're right. I know exactly who you're talking about.
James Jeffries. I'm probably getting further away. He's
Played by Jeffrey Jones.
Jim
Now he
Jeffries,
definitely
off
looks like
Jeffrey
a pedo.
Jones. Convicted.
Ooh. And in this photo, they've got his hair all scruffy. It's like after he's been arrested. Thanks for. I did not. Whatever. Stupid.
Did you watch Ferris Bueller?
I did. Yeah.
Do you like that movie?
Yeah, I like it. Matthew Broderick though. Speaking of like jail people in Ferris Bueller, Matthew Broderick killed someone in his car.
2 people.
Oh, it was 2 people?
I think it was 2 people, like at a crosswalk in like Italy or something.
Yeah, but he just got away with it.
He got in on the wrong side of the car.
Yeah, classic American in Europe mistake.
My guy, I'm a big fan of Vernon Chapman. Oh, sorry, I'm a fat retard.
No, it's nothing.
What was it?
It was this news story that was suggesting that like people with obesity are linked to cognitive impairment.
Yeah.
And I was going to have so I guess it brings a whole new meaning to the term fat retard. But I couldn't find the research to back it up. So I guess all fat people are smart for the time being.
Man, my favorite thing about fat people is when people do the old, like, back in the day, it used to be desirable to, like, be fat.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. It's like, no, that was just healthy.
Yeah.
That just meant healthy back then. And skinny meant, like, barely eating. Now you can be skinny and, like, be well, not have diseases because you're starving all the time, malnourished.
Exactly.
Poo-poo.
The cope of the fat person will always be funny.
Vernon Chapman, the guy that made Xavier, one of my favorite shows, and Shivering Truth and Wonder Chosen. He's working with the South Park boys to make a movie with Kendrick Lamar, and I don't know much else other than it's on Paramount, or it's going to be on Paramount.
The South Park guys, they made the Team America puppet movie. I wonder if it's going to be like animated.
No, I think it's live action.
Ooh,
starring Kendrick.
Okay, so like the midget man.
Yeah. Do you have an impression?
Nobody pray for me, only be gay for me. Yeah, classic midget moment.
Ching chong.
Didn't he dress like Michael Jackson, or was that Jordan Neely? No, he did for one of his concerts.
Yeah. I'm like Michael. I do a weird whisper thing. That's the Kendrick. Everybody. I saw the Ed Boon, the guy that created Mortal Kombat, had something on his Twitter today that indicated that there will be a new Mortal Kombat game coming out. It's going to be Mortal Kombat 1, a reboot, which I thought Mortal Kombat 10 was a reboot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But did you play any Mortal Kombat?
You know, I played the iPhone version of one of the Mortal Kombat games. I played some Street Fighters, but, you know, I actually did play a lot of fighting games in general, just not a lot of Mortal Kombat.
Well, my Mortal Kombat story is that, well, one, Armageddon was the best because it had the full roster of like 65 characters. Yeah, when I was like a kid, my grandma and I would play Mortal Kombat 2 on the Super Nintendo. So there's that. And then I remember getting Mortal Kombat 4 for the PlayStation 1 before I was even 4 years old.
Damn.
Like I was around 3 or 4. So, I mean, and that was the first 3D one, and the blood started to look more realistic.
Yeah.
So my mom just didn't care.
That's crazy. Could you like turn the blood off? Did she say like...
No. I just wasn't weird to us. We just played a lot of games with violence, a lot of fighting games.
Dang, I wasn't allowed to play any M-rated games until I was in 6th grade.
Really?
Yeah. So I played Street Fighter, but I didn't really like Street Fighter.
No, Street Fighter, I mean, who are the fucking characters? I'm so bad remembering names of things.
Ryu,
yeah.
Ken, the Barbie doll, and then Bruce Lee, he's in it. But don't call him.
What's the fucking monster guy, though? The beast guy.
Oh, E Honda? Or no, that's the fat guy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the green guy. Green Goblin guy. I don't know his name, but I know who you're talking. Like Barack Obama.
Yeah, Barack Obama.
Barack. And then the stretchy guy.
Did you play any Marvel versus Capcom?
No, I did not.
Which is crazy because that has some of your...
I know it does, yeah.
Oh, you're going to love this. If you didn't know, I think it's like Ultimate... I looked it up earlier. Ultimate Marvel versus Capcom 3. The Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine. No. But no Leon Kennedy, but one of the skins for Chris Redfield is Leon Kennedy, isn't that?
Not even like his jacket, you just are Leon.
Yeah, it's like a skin, I think.
Weird.
So
I probably would have bought in the game and played it if I knew that.
But just the name Chris shows up underneath.
Chris Kennedy.
Yeah, so Capcom, and then I guess they have all the Street Fighter characters. I always liked Wolverine in that game. What else was there? Did you ever Killer Instinct? That one was awesome on the Super Nintendo. The music for that rocked, and when he started, was like Killer Instinct.
I never played that. I thought that was an arcade machine game.
It was, but they made it for Super Nintendo. Just like the first 2 Mortal Kombats were arcade games that they like ported or whatever.
Oh, how'd they make the aiming work?
What do you mean?
Like, isn't it you point the gun at the screen? And
No. Killer Instinct's a fighting game.
Oh,
it's the same category. It's like almost a Mortal Kombat knockoff. But the characters are all right in that one. But that was like way harder than Mortal Kombat.
I see.
To play alone. A couple of them. Did you play Soul Calibur?
Yes, I did. I had Soul Calibur 2. I loved that game. That was the... I think like on each platform you got a different exclusive fighter. So on the GameCube you had Link.
Yeah, and you got like fucking Jack and Daxter or something on the place. I don't remember, but
there was like Yoda and Darth Vader, I think, on the Xbox. But I love those games. You know what I also loved about those games? Whenever you would fight, you select your characters. There's like a little screen where your characters like pan towards each other. And then you can press like any of the buttons to get them to make certain noises. So whenever I'd play the game with my friends, it'd just be like, Link versus Nightmare. I'm gonna kill you. We would just spam those buttons.
I love that character name, by the way. Do you remember that? They all had Chinese names, and then it was like Siegfried and Nightmare was a character.
Nightmare was the best.
Oh, another good one was Bloody Roar. It was pretty... That one you could turn into an animal. That was like your power up. So like one guy was like a wolf or whatever, and the backstory of it, they're called zoanthropes or something like that. And the story, it was like a loose backstory, which is like great for fighting games. No, I don't know. It was like unethical scientists testing on them versus like people are trying to expose them. And you just run around, you turn into a wolf.
What's the deal? Didn't they try to do like a career mode in Mortal Kombat where it's like you can kill everybody in the land?
Well, there's like what do you mean? Just like the regular gameplay?
No, I think they try to make like a story to it. Like who can be the most deadly killer?
I mean, a couple of the later games have like a story mode where there's some stupid plot.
Good fortune and bad fortune is what those translate to.
But again, it's the same thing as Soul Calibur, where the backstory like is an evil corporation or something. I don't know why that was so popular in like Japanese games. Probably because they have a bunch of evil corporations there.
It's like, in like all the Resident Evil games, Umbrella's the big corporation that runs the world.
Yeah.
I always liked how in the new Mortal Kombat games, they were adding in like the real, like RoboCop and Rambo and stuff like that. I feel like that's a good way to make their genre like niche, you know, like have some interesting spin. Because there's just not a lot of fighting games nowadays.
Yeah, they had the DC one also, the DC versus Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
That came out like right when like PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 came out,
Mm-hmm.
and that one was all right. If I was ranking the games, I'll admit I haven't played some of the more recent ones, but Armageddon was the best, and then like the 5th game was good. That was the first one on PlayStation 2, and then the 3rd best I'll say is like Mortal Kombat 2 or something. Just for like the old arcade ones, 2 is the best. 3 sucked.
I think I remember some people like mentioning that Mortal Kombat 3 is like the worst.
Yeah, well, and they remade it like a gold version of it too, or something. There's like Mortal Kombat Gold. Oh, but the worst Mortal Kombat game for sure is like the Sub-Zero game, where it's like an actual game, like you just run through levels and you just like die. Like there's no way to beat the game, and it's so difficult. It's
That's
just
retarded.
so shittily made. Oh, and then on Armageddon though, you could make a character too. And that was also so pretty cool. You could just make a chick with huge tits, which is what I did all the time, and just leave her in a bra to fight. Sports news I was telling you about. So during an appearance on the Bill Cunningham show on News Radio, whatever, West Virginia, Bob Huggins, who's the coach of the West Virginia, whatever the fuck they are, Mountaineers. Huggins was asked about his former in-city rivalry with Xavier Renegade Angel during his time as the Cincinnati coach from 89 to 2005. And this is what he said. He said, any school that can throw rubber penises on the floor and then say they didn't do it, my God, they can get away with anything. Then Cunningham, the radio guy, said, I think it was transgender night, wasn't it? I don't know how he sounds. And Huggins said, what it was all those fags, those Catholic fags, I think. They were envious they didn't have one.
What year was this when he said it?
The fags thing?
Yeah.
It was like a day ago.
Oh, okay. So
no, it was
this
like
is
literally,
hot
yeah.
news. Okay.
So he's probably going to get fired. Poor
Yeah.
guy. Dude, he just probably didn't know that you couldn't say fag. Some people like just don't realize
I mean,
that.
he's not wrong too. I mean, if they're throwing dildos on the floor, that could be interpreted as a stick, and if it's a bunch of them, a bundle of sticks. You know, he didn't know. Maybe he thought like with. I feel like you can shit on Catholic people. They think, you know, a lot of comedians think that's super edgy to do. So it's like, oh, I could say Catholic because I'm shitting on the bad guys. You know, so it's like calling Republicans the N-word. You know, so but he didn't get the pass.
He didn't.
So R.I.P.
I think if I was that famous, I would just lie and say I'm gay, which isn't that what Kevin Spacey did, but he actually is gay.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Because it was like, we think you have been molesting boys. And he's like, I'm gay. What else do I have to say about that? And Bruce Jenner killing another hit and run. Then he goes, I'm trans.
That's a good way out. Also, one other sports thing was, we didn't talk about this, but the NFL draft was a couple weeks ago, and it was in Kansas City, which is interesting, I guess. That's just on a place.
Did you know that Kansas City is in Missouri?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
I knew that because I'm smart.
I didn't know that. I can't spell either
Well, only
word,
half of it is. But anyway, so yeah, it's in Kansas City, and the fans were booing him when he comes out, and he gets booed all the time because people hate him. This is Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL.
Oh, gotcha.
And so he usually brings a shield out. So he brought out some fat Kansas City celebrities like Eric Stone Street or whatever. Cam from Modern Family, the homo. So everybody's booing him, and he's like, oh, come on. And then he goes, and you know, we're lucky to be here in Kansas City with all you great fans. And they like keep booing him. He's like, oh, what are you booing yourself? Which that was a pretty good attempt, but it didn't work.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when you point at me, you've got 3 fingers pointing right back at you.
So that's sports news. Let's get it. Beef of the week.
Here we go, folks. Beef it up. Beef it up.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
what the hell?
We needed that. Okay, let's hear it.
Mine is birds apartment. I live in an apartment. Let me back it up a little bit. I live in an apartment, and the neighbors above me, they recently got a hold of a bird feeder. And the other day I went out on my balcony, and my balcony was covered with bird seed, probably because of the wind, or maybe they are just chucking it, you know, hanging over the edge, chucking it at us. But every morning, I'm awoken by the sound of birds chirping. There's so many of them. It's insane. And I understand. I feel like it's like a midlife crisis trait to be really into birds. Like my dad, he loves birds. He loves feeding the birds, replacing the bird feeder with fresh feed, trying different types of flavors for the birds to see what, you know, what all, how they react to it. But like if you live in an apartment, that's retarded. Don't do that. I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
Are you going to say anything to the people above you?
I think if it happens again, I'll go upstairs.
But it's happening all the time, isn't it?
The chirping is happening all the time. The bird feed everywhere has only happened once.
Well, maybe they're just starting.
I know. The summer of terror.
Damn, that's going to be tough. I hate those kind of conversations. I mean, I feel like I can do it if I have to, but I just don't want to.
Yeah, it's not like they're not going to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. I'll stop my retarded hobby right here and there. You know, they're probably still going to do it.
Yeah, and then that's when you have to rage at them when they say, no, I'm not going to actually stop.
Yeah, I should kill the birds. I could.
Yeah, you could have one that poisons them. I don't get the appeal of feeding birds though, but I guess like if you just have like, I mean, the other day I saw a bluebird out here and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's spring.
They're cool to see, but I mean,
also squirrels. I don't ever got that either.
Yeah, that I will never get behind. The squirrels are they're like rats in a way. I think they carry diseases. They're gross and disgusting and just shifty-eyed. I mean, they're all like on crack. I hate looking at them. I saw a squirrel once, and in its mouth was the neck of another squirrel that was dead. He was like running around with his dead brother.
Oh, I saw it. It's crazy. The other day I saw a squirrel. I mean, it's not that crazy, but I saw a squirrel that got ran over 6 a.m. probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
By me. No, I just saw it there. And throughout the day, I had to leave my apartment a few times, and I just watched it slowly decayed. And the very first time I saw it, there was another squirrel standing on the sidewalk, just staring at his dead friend. And I'm like, dude, he's gone.
Yeah.
As I ran over it again for the third time. But so I got to see the natural process. He's probably still out there in just very, little amount now.
Mm-hmm.
Circle of life.
Yeah. I wonder what their range of emotions even are. Nuts. So what is your beef of the week?
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out. I didn't like the one I had, so I'm going to do this one. I'm just going to go in, and I don't know what I've said on the pod about the lady I work with, but that she's just in amateur plays, right?
Yeah.
She's an amateur play, and she finishes, and she goes, did I talk about this on the pod
Yeah,
already?
you did.
That she just comes into work and doesn't shut up about it. And she goes, yeah. And she called herself a local celebrity last week because she acts in amateur plays.
Yeah, and by the way, something you mentioned, much like Christina Ricci in Buffalo 66, didn't she dye her hair blonde for the role? So she's a committed actress.
Yeah, the director asked me to dye it blonde. It's not because I look really old unless I do something like that. No, but then she goes, she's like, yep, on the last night, standing ovation. And I'm just thinking like, this is crazy. Like there's never been a play or, it's like a musician like leaving stage. Like they're always going to get the encore.
Right.
Unless you're doing like some sort of small show.
Exactly.
But everybody's going to give you a standing ovation. And it wasn't because it was the last night. People just get up. People are getting up to leave anyway, so they might as well stand while they clap. It's not that impressive. I got a standing ovation when I was in a play. You didn't know this about me.
Mm-mm.
Child star. I was in a play, first grade. I was in a Phil the Groundhog play, and I was a narrator. And I got down from like the choral risers, and I had to walk, down to the microphone. And I had the iconic line that everybody remembers this day. This was after Phil the Groundhog, who was not played by me. It was played by my friend Nate, who fell in the toilet. So he got good practice falling in the toilet and getting up out of the toilet.
Yeah.
I got down, and this was after Phil and his wife, Philette, we'll call her. I don't remember why he had a wife in the play. We were 7 years old.
Yeah, what the heck?
They finally hooked up for the first time. I don't remember exactly how the story went, but I remember my line. I got down, and I go, Phil was just delighted. His heart beat very fast. And then I had to go back up on the choral risers. That was it. That was my line.
Nice.
And I got a standing ovation. You didn't hear me think I need to go to Hollywood or call myself a celebrity.
Yeah. And when you dressed up, you weren't like, the director asked me to dress up.
Yeah.
I was never allowed to do anything like that because we would always have, like in grade school, we'd have musical plays.
Yeah.
And I always got in trouble because I didn't sing, because I didn't want to sing. And I would tell the teacher, I'd rather go up and say something instead of sing. And they were like, if you want to do that, you have to sing. And I was like, well, I'm not doing that.
1 year, my mom was so pissed at me. It was the second. I remember all my plays. First grade was Phil the Groundhog. Second grade. Well, my favorite one was I was at a different school, preschool, Catholic school, believe it or not.
I believe it.
The refrain, or whatever you call it, for the song was Baby Jesus and Santa Claus making Christmas special for me.
Okay.
And I just always thought that visual was so weird in my head because I was picturing like Jesus, like I had it all mixed up. Baby Jesus was in the sleigh.
Yeah.
That's also, I had Easter mixed up because of that, because I thought Jesus actually came back to life once a year and would run around like naked in the woods. So I didn't like Easter time because I didn't want to see this guy.
And it's like, if he can move that stone to come back from the dead, he can surely knock our front door down. Like he's coming to visit us. But like, what's he going to do? He's so powerful. I mean, I stole a cookie from the cookie jar. Is he going to obliterate me? That is like an unknown like consequence of mixing like holiday traditions like that and the unawareness of like how kids perceive it.
Yeah.
It's funny.
But my mom was pissed at me in second grade because I like worked the crew or whatever. Like I basically just pulled the curtains open. She's like, I don't want to remember your second grade play as you being like a part of the tech crew, which was just opening the curtains at the right time.
Wow. See, that's all I did in high school. I was not going to act.
We're getting comments on the videos. People go, oh, you're making fun of Joey Diaz Joey Diaz. That's so desperate. It's like, this is what, by the way, this is what we do. And we're not going to do this every time. This is the only time we're going to address this. So pull up episode 30 someday and you'll know where we stand on the matter. Yeah. Our niche, this is it. This is a mission statement. Our niche is making fun of all these people online. We think other people online agree with us that the Logan Pauls of the world suck. No, they're just calling us desperate.
Which I feel like, and I will chime in since it's the only time we're going to talk about this. Out of all the things to say, I mean, the guy who commented in all caps lame, that's completely valid. But desperate, we have our garden video that has like 20,000 views.
20 million.
20 million views. And you don't see us making garden videos every single day or trying to like relive that one viral moment. That's how you know we're desperate. It's literally the opposite of desperate to take someone that a lot of people like and they haven't thought about why they like it. They just think they're supposed to like this person and then say, hey, that person's actually a psychotic liar and they're a fat retard and they've threatened to kill people. So maybe you shouldn't be watching Coco Uncle Joey. I'm a bad motherfucker, but I have anxiety. Don't make fun of me.
He can't sleep because of his diet.
Yeah.
That's who you look up to.
Diet. So we're here to just say, hey, that guy is a fat retard. Don't let anyone trick you otherwise. And if we were desperate for attention, we would be doing the opposite. We'd be like, no, we love Joey Diaz. Uncle Joey, we read his book. So that's it.
We ain't no desperate ass.
I've been kind of into Cowboys and Indians, which I was not ever minutely interested in as a kid. But I would side with the Indians, though. That's only because of the game Tack and the Power of Juju. I don't know if you played that GameCube game, but that's the only reason I would side with the Indians. But I've been reading Blood Meridian from Cormac McCarthy, and I got to say, quite an interesting time. And you have been kind of living in the wild, wild west yourself.
Yeah, playing a lot of Red Dead.
With some Red Dead Redemption. And I don't know, I just find the whole idea of like the maybe it was like 150-year war between Americans and the different tribes of Indians very fascinating. And you know, it's one of those perfect historical moments to politicize, because there's so many different facets of it to where like it's impossible to get anywhere with it. You know, the more time passes, the more you can turn both arguments into like straw man arguments to where nothing can ever get done. So it's like a perfect American political issue, because no one's ever intelligent enough to sit down and say, oh yeah, a lot of the Indians were like savages and they like they would like rape the women, take the babies, slam them into the concrete or into rocks.
Yeah.
They would torture people. And then also like the Cowboys would do similar things. But since no one's ever going to sit down and talk about it that way, we can just, it's just...
I was gonna say this is your roundabout. This is your roundabout way of saying the Indians are to blame too, and then you just came out and said it. So you beat me to it. But
which again, I'm not even saying that the Indians were necessarily wrong in being savages. You know, their land, they felt pressured by us moving in, and you know. So, but again, no one wants to talk about it. It is very fascinating though, and Blood Meridian's cool. I love the bad guy, the judge, the man with no skin, or not. Hello. The pale man with no hair. He's kind of almost like a Frank Castle, Sam Hyde character, because the first time he appears in the book, it's everyone's in this tent where it's a church service going on, and he walks in and he says, I have to inform everybody that this priest has been like hopping around from town to town. He's been molesting children. He's not a legitimate priest, and he's wanted in all of these states. So everyone's outraged and they attack the priest, they lynch him. Then, you know, fast forward 5 minutes later at the bar, someone goes, hey, how did you know that this priest was like illegitimate? And he's like, I wasn't, I just made it up. So he just got everyone to kill some random guy just cause. That's
awesome.
That's what trolling was back then.
That is awesome.
So
I was listening to like old number stations last week.
Is that ham radio?
No, it's like number stations is like what like covert operations happened on or whatever. Under or on, I don't know how that works. They came from covert operations. So like the British had their own thing or whatever. I don't know enough about it, honestly. I
I honestly just thought it was like a Fallout mission, like on Fallout in the game when you had a radio. That's all. I didn't know it was a real thing at all.
Yeah, so like the British had one that was in what's that fucking island near Greece that starts with a, well, maybe it was like Malta or something. I don't know.
Cyprus?
It might have been Cyprus actually. Yeah. They had like one, and like we just assumed that was theirs because it had like a British voice reading it, and it would just be like a 5-number code, and like it would be just for whatever secret agent to hop in on. I really don't know. It's fascinating though, but you're right. I'm a little late to the game on radio, I think.
Yeah. This stuff's going to really take off.
No, mine is, so this past weekend, I watched a lot of the Kentucky Derby. By that, I mean, I watched it all day. This is exhausting. Sometimes watching sports all day is very exhausting. You'd be surprised. From 10 a.m. to 11 o'clock at night, I watched the Derby, and I had the winning horse Mage, 15-1. I had 4 other horses. So that's $10 bet, $150 made, lost $30 more. So $120 on that fucking horse Mage.
Nice.
Shout out Mage. And then, no joke, no exaggeration, for 4 hours, I watched Greyhound racing videos, and I was so bummed when I found out there's like nowhere to go see it except West Virginia.
Yeah, you would think that there would. I feel like it's that'd be more popular, especially with how much everyone loves dogs nowadays. You know, it's like they'd want to see dogs running, racing.
Well, I think the ethical thing that came into it is like they were just using live rabbits to train them, which I don't know why they just don't ban that practice or whatever. They make it like more humane, but yeah, so there's like 10 different states with racetracks still, but only one that operates, and yeah, it's just West Virginia. So if I'm ever in West Virginia, I'm gonna go see some Greyhound races. Dude, dogs were bred to be incredible specimens in themselves. You don't have to be as big as a horse. Those Greyhounds are running at like a crazy angle. They're like a 45-degree angle from the ground.
That's crazy.
And they just go. They are crazy though. You can tell that they probably were like ripping rabbits apart.
Yeah.
And they have to wear muzzles too, so that's probably part of the ethical part of it. Because otherwise they'll just start nipping at each other like as they run. So they are still dumb dogs, but
like Santa's little helper from The Simpsons. I remember there's one episode where they're gonna get rid of Santa's little helper because he doesn't listen, and Bart is like crying because he has to say goodbye to him because he won't listen to any of the things that anyone tells him. And it goes to the dog's perspective, and it's in black and white, and he's like, blah, 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 sit, blah, 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 roll over. And so then he starts, listening to all the instructions, so they keep him. But I always thought that's how dogs and cats were. Like if I just said it enough. So in a way, it's kind of true, but you also have to train them. You can't just talk to them.
yeah.
So,
what else? But yeah, then I watch UFC, which I don't even like UFC. And it is aesthetically, it is ugly. It's just like there's like three Monster Energy logos and
tattooed on each fighter's chest.
yeah. And then C4 Energy. It's just they're appealing to like that low level demographic idiot, like the Joe Rogan who probably gets his beta alanine every day or something.
Like a guy with like a tap out shirt who's wearing a hat. He's bald and he's glued his hat on backwards so he can never remove it.
Yeah. And Rogan's so tiny in there, but I guess a lot of those fighters are too. But yeah, no, I couldn't miss. I was betting on them. And this is crazy because, this is sometimes where I think my gambling's magic. But fighters were coming out. I was like, this guy's going to knock him out. And it's like, you get a plus 600. So if I put like $10 on it, which is what I pretty much bet on everything, you get $60. So it was just like, boom. And then I was just like ahead for the night. And then even the main fight, Sterling. Have you ever seen the video of Sterling when he's like, I'm coming on you? Or he's like, I'm coming for, fuck, what's he saying? He goes, Joe Rogan's interviewing him after a fight. This guy's Sterling, and he's like, he's talking about another fighter. He's like, you better win your fight because I'm coming on your ass. Coming for your ass. Pause.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, he's like, pause. So yeah, that was that guy. So he won. He was like the main card, main event.
Coming on your ass.
And then, this is what was annoying is I guess, I don't know what states don't allow it, but there's no horse betting on any of like the sportsbook apps. So I had to like go to my Saudi Arabian bookie.ag, it was like some ridiculous like offshore site. So then I like made all this money on UFC and stuff and on the races. And I had to like, instead of just withdrawing that money, I just like played poker or whatever. So I was like, well, no, I was really playing blackjack, and I'm like pretty good at blackjack, or at least I know all the rules, like the most high probability of like what you should play at any given time or what you should do, And yeah, I was like, I'm never doing it on a computer again or through a website. Like I was up like $200, which I know isn't much to some people, but I was up $200 and then I was just like down 200 like in no time. So That's the short of it, but it was crazy. I'll have something else for next week because I'm going a little long on this. But
So what do you think's more interesting though, the horse racing or the dog racing?
I'd like to see more dog racing. I'd like to see more dogs breeds get involved.
Like Chihuahuas. I think that would be interesting because they're gross, rat dogs.
I mean, you can't tell me it's any more humane. Like they just had the Westminster Kennel Show the other day. Do you see the dog that won? Buddy Holly was his name. He's I can't remember the name of the breed. It's kind of a long, like a 4-word one. Look at Buddy Holly dog. You get down on YouTube. Dog. It's the Petite Basset Griffon Vendée. I don't know. It's fucking French probably. So
Are the eyes? Is this? Oh shit! Is this the way that the? Okay, yeah. For a second I thought the dog had like Down syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to undergo very strict diets and like like a real model, they have to hate themselves.
Yeah, and then they get up there and they touch their balls.
Yeah.
But that dog's cool looking. But and last year we had what was it, like the Basset Hound or something that won?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but no, I think horse racing's pretty cool. I just don't know how to really like spot a good horse. So I just kind of went with a few like semi long shots, and that's kind of why I won on that. But it's crazy, like they're crazy physical specimens, and it's crazy too, just because like the lineage and stuff. So it's like, verifying Justify was his dad, and Justify won the Triple Crown in 2018. So there's like lineage, and
that's interesting.
But I think when they were because they only run the Derby when they're 3 years old, so you have to be a 3-year-old horse to run it. So you only get to run it once. Some of them, when their racing career's over, they just go and like have 10,000 offspring, and that's like not even a crazy I don't even know if that's an overestimation.
Damn,
it's like thousands of, and then they find the best one of that bunch, and that becomes the new star. So it really is the best of the best. It's better than UFC.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm trying to think if I got anything else. Oh, here's just a random story. I just thought of this week, and I don't ever want to forget it. But when I was a kid, we had this crazy Mexican neighbor who lived next door, across the street, and his name was Marco. And one day he was rolling around in the grass. He's like, and my mom just goes, "He's gonna get chiggers," and I thought that was funny, like age 3.
For the same reason now, or
well, I didn't even know the other word yet,
okay.
Probably. It was like a funny word then. So maybe the N word really gets more of its power from the igger part than the N. A lot of times we put out.
Yeah. Who's the guy who owned Disney? Bob Iger? Yeah. That's not how you pronounce it. I know it's 1G, but Iger. I remember with that country, we all know the African country next to Chad. Some kid, some apologist, he would always interrupt the class and he's like, "It's Niger." No, it's not, Sean.
No. Also, I don't know if you saw this. You know who Lindy West is? She's like that fat writer. Look her up on just so you can see who she is, because she wrote something scathing about The Whale back in March, and I just wanted to read you her.
Oh, like the movie The Whale?
Yeah.
Oh, because she is fat. I see.
Yeah, so you can imagine what her stand's gonna be.
Yeah.
Well, that's almost a fair photo of her. Like that's not the word.
Damn
But
it.
that
This one
like,
is. Yeah. This one's. What's this? Okay, behind her, she's standing in front of a billboard for her show, her Hulu original. And she's blocking the rest of the alphabet. That's how fat she is. You can't even see. So you see SHLL.
Her head's bigger than that giant dot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she worked at the New York Times or whatever. I don't know if she still is, but she had an article in March, and she said, "The Whale is not a masterpiece. It's a joyless, harmful fantasy of fat squalor." And then the subtext or title or whatever, the Oscar nomination for The Whale must mean it's great, right? Wrong. It's a shallow and stigmatizing reflection of thin people's assumptions about fat bodies.
That's so retarded. That's like not even what the movie's about at all, I feel like.
So it's just it's like
she's upset because she's fat.
Yeah, if you're a fat person, you go into that movie, then you're gonna feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But sometimes cinema does that, baby.
Right.
Because that's what movies do, baby.
Or what is the criterion?
Because it's fun, Jan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tarantino.
In his little hockey jersey, Mr. Tarantino.
And so the only other thing I have, I don't know what else you got.
I'm out of my load has
this
been
is
blown.
Crazy. So we're both Twin Peaks fans. We both watched the show multiple times.
Yes.
And Laura Flynn Boyle, the one that she dated Kyle MacLachlan, she played Donna in the show. And
Michael Jackson ass looking.
So yeah, she dated Kyle MacLachlan, but later in the late 90s, she dated David Spade.
Really?
Yeah. But this is where it gets crazy. Then one time they were smoking weed with Jack Nicholson, and Jack Nicholson asked her out. And so Jack Nicholson and her dated for 5 years.
Wow.
From 99 to 2004. And David Spade found out when they like got into a wreck, and that was like a big public news thing. So like that's how David Spade found out. I don't know how they were all hanging out and he didn't hear that part when he asked him out. That part.
But so when part of when she was dating Jack Nicholson was when she was with David Spade,
or she left him for it him, and
it was explicit then.
Yeah, so even David Spade said like she left me. I don't remember how he talks.
I don't either. She left. Yeah, I can't do it.
Damn, I'm like worn out from this episode. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I think the Good Doctor part was fun.
Yeah. The Good Podcast.
Yep, we're the Good Podcasters. So, all right, everybody, thanks. This was episode 30.
Episode 30.
Come a long way. Don't go back and listen to anything too early. No. Well, you can. Just do it with the volume off so we get the views and like those videos. And also just subscribe, baby. Don't just comment and go, you guys are unique, funny, talented people.
We want the receipts. And we're going to come after you if you don't provide. Because I can see who subscribes.
Mm-hmm. Do it. Can you really?
Yeah, it gives me notifications.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.